As in the Dhyana Shloka of Bhagavad Gita, it is mentioned, Sarvopanishado gavo dogdha gopala nandanaha partho vatsa sudhir bhokta dugdham gitamrutam mahat. It means, if you consider all the Upanishads as a cow and Krishna as the milkman who is going to milk the cow, and Arjuna as the calf which is eager to drink the milk of this cow, then Bhagavad Gita will be the milk that is emanating from the udder of this Upanishadic cow. As you know, as Sanatana Dharma, we have some foundational texts of Sanatana Dharma. We have Vedas, we have Puranas, Itihasas, and various other Prakarana Granthas. In Vedas, which are called as Shruti, because they are not created by anybody, they have been heard by the sages in their dhyana-avastha. And as we have already discussed this several times before, that this communication that happened between the sages, the minds of the sages and the Parabrahma, the supreme divinity, happened in its own way. We know Para, Pashyanti, Madhyama, Vaikhari, 4 kinds of communication. So in Para communication, the sages completely got absorbed in that divine supreme self. They were not different from that self at that moment. They were completely absorbed in communion with that divine. And therefore they got to know everything, all the knowledge. And once they knew that knowledge, they sang that knowledge as the verses of the Vedas, out of compassion for the others who would not know otherwise. If they don't reveal this knowledge to us, how are the ignorant people who do not know how to connect to the divine learn about the truth? So out of their compassion, they sang this knowledge in verses of the Vedas, of the Puranas, of the Shastras. And Veda Vyasa compiled that all into different kinds of Vedas, 4 kinds of Vedas. He also scripted the Puranas. In the Itihasa, Mahabharata, in which Bhishma Parva is there, in that comes this Bhagavad Gita we all know by now. Why this long history? Because Upanishads are a part and parcel of our Vedas. There is Karma Kanda, there is Upasana Kanda, and there is Jnana Kanda. Karma Kanda, we know all the ritualistic worship that we do using Veda mantras. You saw some mantra is there. Om Namah Shivaya is a mantra. Now use that and keep doing the rituals to please that Lord Shiva, to gain whatever you have prayed for. Then there is Upasana Kanda, where you meditate on that mantra. What is Namah Shivaya? Namah Shivaya. Not me, but Shiva alone exists. So that way you meditate on the mantra, that is Upasana, that explanations of these mantras are there. And then there is Jnana Kanda. Jnana Kanda is the philosophical aspect of all the Vedic knowledge, the deeper inner significance of what it is. What does it mean that you do not exist, only Shiva exists? What does that mean? I do exist, right? I can see my face in the mirror. If somebody clicks a picture, my form will appear in the frame. So I do exist. Then what does it mean by I don't exist, only Shiva exists? So that understanding is from the Upanishads, where it says, our Shankaracharya, the supreme philosopher and thinker of these times, at least 1500 years ago, Adi Shankara gave very succinct commentaries on the Upanishads. And his commentary on Bhagavad Gita is also one of the most deepest commentaries. And his commentary on this chapter 13, Kshetra-Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga, is one of the longest commentaries. Because this is where the Upanishadic part of the Bhagavad Gita starts. We all learned that first 6 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita deals with Karma Kanda. Karma, let us say. Who is that? Who are you? What is your role in this world? How to play your role? How to perform your duties? Thinking of the Lord. Then the next 6 chapters talks about who is this Lord for whose sake you should perform the duties. What is the nature of that Lord? What does He do? How is He present in all the forms, in every aspect of the universe? So we learnt in that Bhakti. The 6 chapters can be Upasana Kanda, you can think of like that, like Vedas. So Bhakti is what we learnt. And the last chapter was Bhakti Yoga. And Krishna gave 40 odd qualities of Bhaktas. And he said those who follow these qualities, those who develop these qualities, they become very dear to me if they really do it sincerely. that pick up at least one quality out of all the qualities that Sri Krishna mentions and practice it in your life. Let that be the motto, the vision of your life. So that from that quality, all the other qualities will also come to you. If you practice truth, in truth, all other qualities are also there. In ahimsa, other qualities are also there because they cannot exist independent of each other, which you can practice without compromising. Whatever be the situation, whatever happens, you must always talk about it. I hope you will do it with all sincerity and you will eventually become dearest to Lord Krishna. And if you become dearest to Lord Krishna, it means you become dearest to your own self. Lord Krishna is not different from the divinity that is within and without. So we will become closer to ourselves. It means what? Upanishad will happen. Upa, closeness. Nihi, nishchayatmaka, means certainly, without doubt. And shat, means all our doubts will disappear. All our bondage and the attachments to this world which does not allow us to realize divinity will loosen. And ultimately, all our moha will be destroyed. So that is what is happening in Bhagavad Gita. You see, Arjuna came with a lot of moha in the beginning. I do not want to fight this war. I do not want to kill my grandfather, teachers, cousins. Let me go back. I'll beg and eat, that is better. And Krishna says, nothing doing, this is your war. You have to fight as a Kshatriya dharma. You have to perform your duty. And that's how he begins the Bhagavad Gita and takes him saying, for whose sake should you perform the duty? Do it as an instrument of mine, nimitta matram. I am the Supreme Lord. Think of me as the ultimate and do it as an instrument because I do everything. You are just an instrument. Then Arjuna is learning many things and Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga happened and he was stunned by the idea that Krishna is the Supreme Godhead. He alone exists in all beings. Though I thought he's my cousin, he's my friend, but he is much more than that. So that's how he came to bhakti, that he developed love, more and more love for Krishna. Because he thought, oh, my Krishna is so wonderful. When you know somebody's value, you develop more love for that person. So now he has more love for Krishna. So he is willing to listen to more complicated Upadesha now. Because so far, first chapter, he was not even willing to listen. First chapter was all about Arjuna's grumbling and crying and cribbing and complaining. He was not in a mood to listen to Krishna. Only in the second chapter, he says, okay, I don't know what to do, you tell me. And then Krishna starts. Now he has developed Arjuna over a period of time. In last 12 chapters, he has made Arjuna go from that deluded, attached Arjuna to an Arjuna who is open-minded now. In fact, he is almost obedient to Krishna's command. He is willing to follow Krishna. Here, Krishna takes him to the highest philosophy in the next 6 chapters, which is like the Upanishadic side of the Vedas, the Jnana Kanda. Though you will see this knowledge in all the other 11 chapters also before, except the first chapter, but you will see it in greater intensity now. Because here Krishna is here to give the cream of the milk, not even milk, but the cream of the milk is this particular Vibhaga, in the sense this section, 6 chapters section, especially the 13th, 14th and 15th chapter are full of philosophy. And we have Mahavakyas in our Vedas. What that sentence which tells us about the oneness of ourselves with the divine, these are called Mahavakyas. So it is simply says, Jiva Brahma Aikya Vakyam iti Mahavakyam. What tells us about the oneness of ours with the divinity. Right now, what do we think of ourselves? I am this man or a woman. Whatever is going on in your mind, this is what you think you are. But Bhagavad Gita says, no, that is not you. There is something more, there is something beyond that is you. You are supreme divinity. All of you keep chanting Chidananda Rupam Shivoham Shivom. Every day you chant, right? No, I am not body, I am not mind, I am not buddhi, I am not this, I am not that. I am never born, I never die. All these you chant, but I do not know how many of you even pay attention to that beautiful verses which Shankaracharya has created, Nirvana Shatkam. So ultimate conclusion of Nirvana Shatkam is what? I am not all these which I think. I am the divine. Chidananda Rupaha. Ultimate eternal bliss. That absolute bliss is me, not other than that. So anytime we are not behaving in that way, it means we are not behaving true to our nature. If you're getting angry, if you're fighting, if you're getting upset, if you're getting depressed, if you're getting greedy, you do all these things, it means you are not in tune with your true self. And what I always tell you, the moment you come back to yourself, that is the test of how spiritually you are growing. The faster you come back to your peaceful, absolute, blissful self, the better is your spiritual progress. The more time it takes to come back to your zero state, I call it, pure state, it means you still have to go a long way in doing your sadhana. So in this way, our Upanishads call out this truth. It tells everybody, and 4 Mahavakyas are known, you all know. Tattvamasi, which is from Chandogya Upanishad, from Samaveda. Then we have Aham Brahmasmi is there. Aham Brahmasmi from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, it comes from the Yajurveda. Prajnanam Brahma comes from the Aitreya Upanishad, from the Rigveda, and Ayamatma Brahma, that comes from the Mandukya Upanishad, from the Atharvana Veda. Now these Vakyas mean what? Tattvam Asi. You are that. You are what? You are not the name that you have got from your parents. You are not the position that you hold in this organization. You are not the student in that particular class. You are that. What is that? That is what Bhagavad Gita Upanishad say. You are that divine. Because they don't know how to describe that divine. Is it a male? No. It is a female? No. Is it a young or old? No. Is it big or small? No. We do not know. We just know it exists. And how do we know? By experience alone we can know, it says. Because we cannot be described. Yito vacho nivartante aprapya manasa saha. Which cannot be described in words from where the words return. It means it cannot be described. So how can I describe? Our Upanishad Rishis only lament. Na vidmo na vijanimo yathaitad anushishya. How to teach this I do not know. Atra chakshur gacchati, na vag gacchati, no manaha. Mind does not go there, speech does not go there, nothing goes there. I cannot describe it to you. So then you will ask me, then how are we going to learn if you are not going to describe what it is? I can point it to you. Last time remember Arundhati Darshana Nyaya. Where is Arundhati Nakshatra? Next to the Vashishta Nakshatra. Where is Vashishta Nakshatra? Look up there on that Big Dipper, Great Bear, and then I'll point it. Then that's how you see the Arundhati Nakshatra. So this is how the Upanishads and Rishis have told. This is how it feels like when you realize the self, when you know you are divine. What happens to you? You become peaceful, you become blissful, you become kind, compassionate. So whoever manifests these qualities is divine. Is close to the divine. So these are the things that will be discussed. So if I have to break the Tattvamasi, the first 6 chapters was about Tvam, about you. Who are you? Why are you here? What is your work? How to do your work? First 6 chapters is about, I would call it as Tvam Pada Vichara, thinking about you, who you are. Next 6 chapters is about Tat Pada Vichara. Who is that? Who is that means who is the divine. And Krishna says, I am everything, I am everyone, I am in all aspects of this creation. So you have seen that all through the next 6 chapters till Bhakti Yoga. On Bhakti Yoga he clarifies, I exist as the formless as well as in the form. If you want to worship me in any form, Rama, Krishna, Ganesha, we sang so many bhajans of so many gods, perfectly okay, you can do that. Also you can worship me as no form at all and beyond all forms and names. Like Allahu Akbar you sang. They say it's beyond name and form. Same thing even we say. Brahma Rupam is beyond Asti Bhati Priyam, that's all it says. That is Brahma Rupam. It exists, it is aware, and it is very beautiful experience. It is very sweet experience. That's all we say. We don't say how it exists. Is it exists a man or a woman or a old or young? We do not know. We do not tell that. So it is how it is being told. So Tat. So second 6 chapters was about Tat. Krishna says, I am this body, yet I am that supreme divine. Third 6 chapters are talking about Asi Padam, Asi Pada Vichara. It means it's equating Tat with Tvam. Asi means are, you are. So it says you are that. So you we have described, that we have described. Now we are going to learn how you alone are that and not different from that. We don't believe the scriptures, but Shraddha is very definition, you have to believe the scriptures. So we will believe the scriptures. What is the belief? You are that. Tat Tvam Asi, you are that. What is that? That is divine. What is divine? How that is present in us? How am I equal to that divine? Is about this Kshetra-Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga. Kshetra means a field. Like you see a farm where the farmer is plowing the field, sowing the seeds, growing the crops. So Kshetra means a field, a place. And Kshetrajna means the one who knows it. Kshetrajna means the knower. So the one who knows is the knower of the Kshetra. Like a farmer knows his farm very well. What kind of soil it is, what will grow, what will not grow, how much time it will take things to grow, how much water irrigation he has to do, at what season he has to sow what crop, when he has to harvest. Everything he knows. Like that he has in and out knowledge of this field. You will wonder, are we going to learn agriculture or are we going to learn about spirituality? Kshetra-Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga. Vibhaga means difference between the two. This is different, that is different. This is all we are going to learn. So probably it should sound like a BSc agricultural class, right? We learn about soil types, what is the climate and its effect, what crop, when to harvest. No. This chapter's theme is Kshetra is you, your body, this whole, what you call as yourself right now, this body with all its emotions, minds, attachments, desires, thoughts, everything together is Kshetra field. Then what is happening in this field? Sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a tendency. Sow a tendency, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. That's what we say. Every time we sow a thought, a good thought we sow in our mind, the field of our mind, it turns into a good word. A good word translates into good action. A good action turns into good habit. And when this habit is developed, good habits are developed, our character becomes good. When our character is good, we reach a good destiny. In the sense, we realize or we attain good things in life. So this is the idea. In this Kshetra, if you sow the seed of goodness, good results will come. If you sow the seed of evil things, evil results will come. Can we attain mango fruit by sowing lemon seeds? Or can we get lemon by sowing mango seeds? Not possible. So this is the idea of Kshetra-Kshetrajna. Now this must be clear, because definitely if I get up and think something wrong, then whole day that is in my mind. I say something wrong, I do something wrong. At the end of the day, I have made myself a worser person than when I woke up. Same thing, if I do things, start on a good note, think good things, do good things, then what happens? I end the day on a good note. That's why we start with prayers in our hostels. We start with lot of disciplinary, rituals or ways of our hostel life and college life. We always try to learn good things, behave in a good way, speak in a good way, so that we have at the end a good life. We are good for ourselves and also good for everybody around us. So that is the idea of Kshetra-Kshetrajna Vibhaga. So we want to know what is the field, what is this body or the mind in which we sow the thought and perform actions, speak and work and things like that. And who does it? Kshetrajna, who knows it very well? You will say, I know it. I was born in such and such a town. It is my name is this, my father, mother's name is this. So I know it. But ours, Krishna is going to tell here, you don't know it, I know it. He'll say, Krishna, you are not even available in Kali Yuga. You are there in Dwapara Yuga. How do you know about me? Krishna will say, I know about you because I am you. How do you know that? Question is that I am the Kshetrajna. How do I am a Kshetrajna? Because I and that consciousness, that knowledge, awareness is one. That is how I believe. And that awareness is in you also. So even before I jump into this chapter, I want you to do a small exercise. There is a small concept in our scriptures called Driga Drishya Viveka. You know that? Driga means that which is seeing, and Drishya is which is seen. For example, right now what you are seeing me. So I am the Drishya. And who is the seer? You are the seer. You are seeing me. This is very simple. You understand that? Right? You will tell, I am seeing and you are this seen. Now I will say, close your eyes. Can you see me in your head still? You're not seeing with your eyes. You're seeing with something else which is behind the eyes. So when you are seeing with open eyes also, there is something which is behind the eyes which sees the objects in the world. Next is eye. Third is the mind which sees behind the eye. Fourth is something which is aware of the presence of the mind which sees through the eyes. Through my mind and the eyes I am seeing things. So that when I close my eyes also I see things. It means who is that who is aware of all these things? I am only aware of this. I am aware of what is here. This is what your answer will be, right? You are able to see the object. It means the object is not you. Next is what? Because you are able to know. So it is outside you, it is not you. But then who am I? I am not the object because I can see it. It is different from me. If this is my car, I am not the car because I am getting to know, I am getting to see the car. If this is my eyes through which I see, I am not the eyes because I am able to see through the eyes. I can know eyes different from me. It is my body. My body is different from me. These are my eyes. Eyes are different from me. Then my mind which sees through the eyes. I can know that there is a mind. It means mind is also different from me. Then who am I? You are that awareness which is aware of all the mind, the eye and the object. Who are you? You are that awareness. That is what I am saying. I am only getting to know. I am also saying you are only getting to know. But you are knowing, not knowing things as a body. You are not knowing things as the mind. You are knowing things as another capability, another power in you, which knows the mind and the body and the world around you. So, what is happening when I see an object? I am not the object. When I see the body, I am not the body. Even when I close the eyes, I see things, so I am not even the eyes. The mind that sees things, I am able to differentiate. I am able to watch my thoughts. Thoughts, can you watch your thoughts? You are not the thought. The one who watching the thought is you. Who is watching the thought? Something in you is watching the thought. So that is, just understand this much, hold on to this idea. Remember this, if you know something, you are not that. It is different from you. So who are you? The ability to know something is you. That is the ultimate, because nothing can be, there is no other level to know you that you know. The first shloka with Rupam Drishyam Lochanam Drik. If everything is seen, eyes are the seer. Tad Drishyam Driktu Manasam. If eyes are the objects to see, mind is the seer. Drishya dhivrittasya sakshi. For the vagaries of the mind, the thoughts of the mind, there is a witness who is watching the mind within you. Drik eva natudrishyate. Nobody is there to watch that further. It is the final level which watches everything, which watches your thoughts, which watches your words which are spoken through the mouth, which watches your action which is happening outside you. Everything it is watching. That watch, the person or that object, that ability that is watching, that is called as the knower. And all the other things are said as known. That is called the seer. And all the other things are seen only. So, knower and the known. That is how we differentiate between Kshetra and Kshetrajna. What is Kshetrajna? The knower, the ultimate presence within you, which is watching your mind and thoughts and emotions and abilities, everything. Which is watching your organs, what they are doing. Which is watching all the actions that are happening outside you and the world that you perceive with all your five senses. That knower is the true knower. So how do I know what is happening inside you? Because the knower inside you, the knower inside me, and the knower inside everybody is one and the same. Can you see electricity? But still you can see the light which is coming out of the bulb, and you know that electricity is the reason. Correct? Now the electricity in this bulb is different from that and different from that, or is it the same electricity flowing? That same electricity is the knower of all the bulbs. Why? Because it is flowing into every bulb. But inside that bulb, there is only so much of wattage or voltage of electricity it is using. If it is a small wattage bulb, 0 watt bulb, only so much electricity will be present. If it's a 1000 kilowatt big light, then there will be so much more electricity present. Quantity of electricity may be different, but quality is the same. So that quality of electricity which flows in everything is that divine, we call it. That is what is that awareness, Ashakti. That power within us, that awareness within us, which helps us to become aware of everything. Like my body I am aware of, I am sitting in Premamritam I am aware of. Forget anything else. I am alive. Am I aware of that I am alive? That also I know from within. So this knowledge, ability is the knower. The ability to know things is the knower, and everything else is known. We remember Mana, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankara. Mana means all the thoughts. Buddhi means intelligence, discrimination. Chitta, all the memories, and Ahankara is the identity that identifies with something, like I am the student of such and such teacher, I am the son of such and such person. These identities Ahankara. These four things are the part of our mind. That comes with the body. What does body have? All the organs, all the senses, the skin, the bones, everything else. This whole thing is the body. And the mind that has all these four aspects. Beyond that is something which is aware of the mind and also the body. That is called as awareness. That prajnanam Brahma, when I say that awareness is Brahman, that is the Vedic declaration, Upanishadic declaration from the Aitreya Upanishad. That ultimate ability to know things is Brahman. Without that, you cannot know anything. I am not able to understand what you are saying. Maybe in me, Brahman is little less. No, Brahman is same. Your mind is a little less. Your mind is not sharp enough. Your mind is not steady enough. The bulb has got fused. The filament is gone. Electricity is not gone. Electricity is still running. Your bulb got fused. Therefore, no light is coming. The one who knows that I am divine, the one who does not know that he is or she is divine, the difference is not the absence of divinity in them. The difference is the absence of ability to know, which is the mind which is coming in the way. The filament goes, so bulb is the body, filament is the mind, electricity is the divinity. So like that we have to think of divine existing in all. Now all Krishna teaches in this chapter is this, that you are not different from divinity. But how to know that I am same as divinity because I don't feel it? I will teach you, Krishna says. You have to develop some qualities, good qualities. Through those qualities, you will come to know that you are divine. Nothing else is wrong with you. You are perfect as you are. But there are some small mistakes you are making. Remove those mistakes. What remains is divinity. There is a sculptor. Sculptor, what he does, he takes a piece of stone, and then he carves it, chisels it, and removes all that which is not the idol. What remains is the idol. So you are already divine. Then why I don't know that I am divine? Why I don't behave like divine? Because there is something in you which is not allowing you to behave like that, to know that. What is Guru's job? Guru is like the Shilpi, who will remove that piece of stone, chunks of stone, which is not letting that idol come out of the stone. Once he clears all that unnecessary things, what remains is already the divine statue. That is the knower, the consciousness, the principle of awareness, and that which is you are aware of, the body, the mind, the senses. Such a person can lead a happy life. So why should you know this chapter? Because only when you read this chapter and learn how to differentiate between your body, mind and your awareness, will you be able to lead a better life. You can take right decisions, you can do the right things, you will do dharma, you will not do a dharma. This way, whatever you do in this world will bring good results to you, happy results to you. Do you want to live a happy life or not? You want to. So this chapter is the way to become happy. By knowing that I am divine and realizing it, not theoretically knowing, by realizing it. Shoka says, Prakritim Purusha, Arjuna Uvacha, Prakritim Purusham Chaiva, Kshetram Kshetragyam Etad Veditum Ichchami, Jnanam Gyeyam Cha Keshava. O Keshava, the killer of the Keshi demon, please tell me about these things. What are these things? Prakriti and Purusha. Remember these two words. Prakriti, Purusha. Then Kshetra-Kshetrajna. Just now I explained Kshetra-Kshetrajna. Then Jnanam and Gyeyam, that with knowledge and that which is to be known. Tell me about these 6 things. Where did Arjuna learn all these things? Maybe he read it in some scriptures. Maybe they had a discussion earlier. Now it is all resurfacing because Arjuna is applying his mind now. So all this knowledge that he would have learned somewhere is coming back. So he is getting doubts. So he is going to ask Krishna, Prakriti Purusha, Kshetra-Kshetrajna, and Jnanam and Gyeyam. Tell me what are these 6 things. And then Krishna as usual answers, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, Idam Shariram Kaunteya, Kshetram Ityabhidhiyate. This body is known as Kshetra. Just now I explained the whole Kshetra concept. Why is Kshetra? It's like a farm or a field. You sow anything, you get a result. Karma you sow, you get karma phala as the result. You can't escape that. Whatever you sow, you will get that. That's why it's called Kshetra. Then, Kshetra ityabhidiyate etadyo veti tam prahu kshetragya iti tadvidaha. And the one who knows this body, that is called Kshetrajna. Just now I explained who knows this body. You say, I know, but who is that I? You say, not the eyes, not the mind. There is something inside me which knows everything. That something inside you is called Kshetrajna. This we will explain as we go. So this is what we must know. Shankaracharya has told why it's called Kshetra. 3 definitions is given. Shatat Tranat, because we try to protect it from any injury. That's why it is called Kshetra. Second reason it says is Shayat Sharanat Kshetra, because it decays and dies. Therefore it is called Kshetra. We know 6 phases are there. Aste, Jayate, Vardhante, Viparidamate, Apakshiyate, Vinashyate. We are there, we are born, we grow, then the reversal happens, and then you start decaying, and finally you die. Shatravat asmin karma phala nivitte. Like in a field, when you sow something, you reap something. Like that, in this body, you sow your karma, and you receive the karma phala. That's why it's also called Kshetra. This is Adi Shankaracharya's definition. Now what happens in the 3rd shloka, he says, now you will say, okay, so I understood that this body is the Kshetra and the one who knows this body is Kshetrajna. So I am Kshetrajna because I know this body is mine. I know the mind is mine. Everything in the body I know. I am completely aware of. I am Kshetrajna. Very good. First level cleared. He says, Kshetragyam chapi mam viddhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. But The knower of this Kshetra is me only, not in you, but in everyone. I only know everything. Now you'll ask Krishna, you're outside. How will you get inside me and know everything that I do? Or who I am? How do you know? So Krishna first said, the knower is Kshetra. Arjuna was comfortable. Yes, I only am knowing my body. So body is called Kshetra. The I am who knows it is called Kshetrajna. But Krishna says, this Kshetrajna is same. The knower is same in all beings. Man, woman, old, young, rich, poor. Everybody, the Kshetrajna, the knower is one and the same. Then Arjuna is confused. And then Krishna says, Kshetra-Kshetrajna yo jnanam yad jnanam matam mama yad tad jnanam matam mama. This knowledge that you ask for, what is jnanam, what is jnayam, he asked, no, what is that knowledge and what is to be known? He says, this is what is to be known. The difference between Kshetra and Kshetrajna, that is the body, mind and the knower of the body and the mind. That difference you should know, because most of the times we only consider ourselves as the body or the mind. For example, who are you? I am so and so, boy or girl name. What are you? Whose name is that actually? It is your body's name, right? When your body was born, the name was given. Then second thing, when you ask, how are you? I am sad. Who is sad? Is the body sad? No. Then what is sad? The mind is sad. Why? You didn't get what you wanted today. Somebody scolded you. You did not get good marks. So something in you becomes sad. Something is named in you. But these two are not you, is what Krishna is telling. The one who knows that you are sad, the one who knows that this is the name of your body, that is me, he says. But then I am the same in all. Like the electricity in every bulb is same, though it looks different. Likewise, I am happy and sad, I am tall and small. All this is happening in the body and the mind. The awareness is not changing. It is the same like the electricity which is flowing. On this one shloka, third shloka, Shankaracharya has written so much of commentary, because this is the essence. In fact, this is a Mahavakya. Kshetragyam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. Know that I am the knower of everyone. Know that. That is a Mahavakya, because Krishna is saying that one divinity exists in all. And the one who knows the difference between the two truly knows the true knowledge. That is the true knowledge you must learn. Dve vidya veditavya, we talk about paravidya and aparavidya. Aparavidya is all the school's education, I call it. And paravidya I call that which takes us to the highest truth, that you are divine. So, tat brahma gamyate, it says from Mundakopanishad. So this is the idea of this chapter. That is the third shloka. And now in the fourth shloka, Krishna says, what am I going to teach you now? Arjuna has asked him few questions. Krishna says, tak kshetram yaccha yadrikcha yadvikari yataschayat. What is that kshetra? How does it, what is its nature? If you say something is like this, what is its nature? Is it hot, cold, tall, short? What kind of thing it is? And yadvikari, what kind of modifications it goes through? Yataschayat. What comes after what? All this is about the kshetra I am going to teach you. Also he says, Sachajo yat prabhavascha, what is its power? That also I will teach you. Tat samashena meshruna, I will teach you briefly, he says. What are the things? Tat kshetram, what is that kshetra, body, whatever we are talking about? What is its nature? Yadrikcha, yadvikari, what kind of changes happen in that? Yataschayat, what comes after what in that? In case of what, how does it evolve? How does it transform? And fifth, yat prabhavascha, what kind of power does it have? These are the things I am going to tell you in a brief way. And then he goes to fifth shloka and says, Rishibhir bahudha gitam chandobhir vividhaihi prithak. Rishis have talked about in so many ways. They have sung about it. Gitam. It's not vachanam. It's not upadesham. Gitam. Because when you are happy, you have found something amazing. The Gita is also a song, right? Krishna's song. It doesn't mean he's singing all these things in the Kurukshetra. It means he's happy, he's telling you a truth that he has discovered, something amazing he's telling. So Rishi Gitam, in various ways Rishis have sung about it. Chandobhi vividhahi pratak. In Vedas, Chandas are from the Vedas, the mantras. In various ways it has been described. Ekam sat vipra bhaudavadante. Same truth has been spoken about in so many ways. Then he says, Brahma Sutra Padaischaiva. There are Brahma Sutras. Remember, Prasthanatraya, 3 fundamental texts. What are those? Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita and Brahma Sutras. So Brahma Sutras are aphorisms, very short description of truth. And those Brahma Sutras also talk about that padam, that state, exalted state of existence. Hetumadbhi vinishchitai. How do they talk about? With complete logic. Hetumat. Complete logic and vinishchitai, with complete certainty. There is no doubt in the minds of the rishis or the Vedas or those who have written the Brahma Sutras, because they know it thoroughly without doubt, and they have a logic why they say what they say. The Shankaracharya's commentaries go like this, There is a Purva Paksha, somebody will ask a question, and Shankaracharya will refute it with a logic. Then that person will ask a question back again, Shankaracharya will again give the logic, and like that he'll clear all the doubt. That is how he writes his commentaries. There is nobody asking him. He imagines what will be people's objections to what he is teaching, because he is an Advaita person. Dvaita person will say what? How can God and world be same? You say God is so beautiful, supreme and everything, and same time you say Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. And say Jivo Brahmaiva Napara, you say I am only God. How is it possible? I am so bad, I can't be God. Then Shankaracharya, no, as you are God only, but there is some ignorance in you. There is some faults which I have to correct. Once I correct that, you are God only. If somebody sees an empty stone, and a sculptor will say, come and say, this is Shirdi Sai Baba, if he says, who will say, where is Shirdi Sai? This is a piece of stone. Wait, I will show you how it is Shirdi Sai Baba. How will he do? Slowly he will carve the stone and take out a Baba statue out of it. But one question, Shankaracharya, I must tell you, he says that if God becomes samsara, but samsara is limited. Today what exists, tomorrow it does not exist. But God is supposed to exist all the time. How can God be samsara? That is first objection. Second, if there is no samsara, only God exists, even then in samsara I see so much of suffering, pain and this. How can God have pain and things like that? Because God is Ananda Swarupa. Both don't exist. Third question he asks is, if all this is God and I am only God, then why I need your Vedanta and all these textbooks? Why God should read about God? So some people will say like that from this. And fourth he says, but even if all this is true, my experience right now, what I am going through, it is not matching with your description. Because I am going through suffering, I am going through pain, I am going through old age, decay, death. And you are telling that I am imperishable, I am indestructible Brahman. How is it possible? My experience is opposite. So like that the person will refute, and then Shankaracharya will go and say, this is due to an ignorance that you have. What is the ignorance? That is the understanding that you are the body and the mind which is limited, which suffers, which goes through changes, and you are not able to understand that you are the awareness, prajnana. That is the problem that you have. Otherwise you are only divine. One place he says it is like cataract. Once you have cataract, what happens? So cataract makes you first not see. Second, see it wrongly. Third, create doubts in you whether what I am seeing is right or wrong. Same thing Ajnana does to it. First, it does not allow you to see God in you. Two, even if you see something in you, you do not know whether it is God or something else. You misinterpret it as something else. You have doubts. So these three problems happen because of Ajnana, he says. And for removing of this problem, we need Shastras or Gurus who will teach us how to remove this cataract. Like a doctor will remove the cataract and clear the vision. We need the Shastras to remove this cataract of ignorance and slowly learn that we are divine. And like this he goes on and on. But ultimately, he has concluded that it is what does this do? Prapyasya prapti, nivritasya nivritti, he says. What is there, you will get that. What is not there, you will get rid of that. Look at the logic. What is there, you will get that. What is not there, you will get rid of that. Anyway, it's not there, but still I have to get rid of it. That is how ignorance is. It is not there, yet I have to get rid of it to get what is already existing. Andre, this is how Vedanta teaches us how we are divine and not different from the divine, because only Vedanta tells us that you are divine. All others don't tell us. All others tell you can become divine, they say. You can become divine. Vedanta says you are divine. All others say you are not. Dvaita Bhava says what? You are Bhakta, that is Bhagavan. You don't match up to him, you don't try also. Vishishta Dvaita says what? Yes, you are also a part of that divine. The same electricity, one piece is there in you also, one part is there. But you are not the whole of electricity. Please don't think like that. But Advaita says what? You are that full electricity in all its glory and power. You are not less. No two, only one. Outside we are different, we have to behave differently. But inside we are same. A man only becomes a teacher in the morning, husband in the evening, father in the afternoon. Why? Because he has a son, he has a wife, he has a job. But man only becomes all these things, right? Man is not different. Likewise, we are not different inside. We behave differently according to our roles, professions, knowledge and other things, habits. So this is how he says that all this has been explained in our Vedas and Upanishads with great clarity and without any doubt, with lot of logic. If you read that, you will come to know. So this is the idea of the fifth shloka. The sixth shloka is very important. Sixth and seventh shloka says, Mahabhutyan ahankaro buddhiravyaktamevacha indriyani dashaikamcha panchachendriya gochara. So what is this kshetra, what is this body made of? He says these are the items that it is made of, 24 of them. Will you be able to remember 24? Anyways, we will tell because the shloka says. So he says it has something called avyakta, the unmanifest principle. What is avyakta? Something is existing but it is not manifested outside. That is called as avyakta, not yet manifested. That is the first principle. Remember, I'll explain later. Second, it says it has got buddhi, intelligence. Third, it has got ahankara, an identity. Who are you? Immediately you say, I am son so and so, I am son and so and such person's son and all that. Fourth, it says it has got mahabhutas. Pancha mahabhutas, you know, fire, earth. What is akasha? Vayu, agni, apa, prithvi. Right? Akasha means space, Vayu means air, then Agni means fire, Apa means water, and Earth finally is earth. So all these things are existing in us. Are they existing in us? They are existing in us. Do we have the elements of earth in us? Of course we have. All the minerals and the material, whatever we are made of that. We eat the food and that food becomes our body. So it's a part of the earth. Similarly, so there is a beautiful shloka in Taittiriya Upanishad, Tasmadva etasmad akashas sambhutaha akashad vayu vayo ragnihi agni apaha adbhya prithvi prithivya oshadayaha oshadibhyo annam annat purushaha, he says. So from the earth comes the oshadi, the plants, herbs. From that comes food. That food when we eat, we become this. Therefore, earth is there in us. And we die, what happens to us? We go back to all the five elements. So that is all the five elements are there as a part of us, he says. Then indriyas are there. What are these indriyas? The sense faculties. There are 10 types of them. 5 karmendriyas and 5 jnanendriyas. What are 5 jnanendriyas? What are the vision is not eyes. It is the ability to see. It's called. So that 5 indriyas are there. Shrotra, the ear, shrotrendriya. Tvak means touch, tvacha, that is the indriya. Chakshurindriya, the sight. Rasana indriya, the ability to taste, and ghana indriya, which is the ability to smell. This we all know. Then what happens? All of them are controlled by one, he says. The shaikam. What is that ekam? Mind controls everything. What is the mind? We all know of now. Mind is all the sankalpa vikalpa. All our thoughts are basically the mind that governs everything. Who sees that when the eyes are closed? Mind is seeing. So mind also has the ability to see. So thing is that mind is seeing. So mind has the ability to see, touch, smell, taste, hear, everything. So mind has the ability of all the 5 faculties. That is why that ekam that controls. But beyond that, physically also we have 5 karmendriyas to do our actions daily. Name na vakpani padam na chopastapayuhu, it says. Vak, mouth which we speak. Pani, hands with which we work. Padam, feet with which we move. Upastha, which is genitals with reproductive organs, and payuhu, which is excretory organs. All these together are our karmendriyas. 5 are jnanendriyas, these 5 are karmendriyas. 10 plus 1, the mind that controls everything. Is it not your mind which controls your feet? Mind tells the feet, I want to go there. You will say brain tells. No, there is something behind the brain. Brain is only a hardware. It's only a machine. But somebody controls the machine like a software, which is mind. It tells, I'm hungry, I want to go to dining hall. Legs will start walking. So that is the idea of mind controlling all the 10. That is the ekam. Then these are the fine. Then finally 5 gocharendriya, it says. Gocharendriya means the physical objects of the senses. What can you see? What can you touch? What can you taste? What can you hear? What can you smell? These objects that exist outside you, these are called gochara, which are each indriya should be able to see it. It means should be able to experience it. Put it all together, again go back. Avyakta means that state which has not manifested. What are those things? Your past memories, vasanas, karmas, they're there in a seed state. Once you plant it in the body, they will all manifest. Thought is there, but thought is not manifested into an action or a word. So there is a state in us. That's why we are Purva Janma Kruta. I keep telling you, many of you are here because of your good deeds of the past. You don't remember those good deeds. But there is one. Otherwise, why we are born differently? Remember I told you about Kanchi Paramacharya, who tells a journalist, go to all the maternity homes and write down which kind of children are born in which maternity wards and who are the parents and what are the circumstances. And he comes back and says, one is poor, one is rich, one is born with some defect or a disease, another is healthy. Then Paramacharya asks, you don't believe in Punarjanma, then why are they born differently? Is God partial to all these children? Why he made him poor? Why he made him blind? Why he made him sick? He has no answer. He says there is something before you came into existence. Avyaktadini bhutani vyaktamadhyani bharati, Krishna says earlier. We all were in an unmanifest state, then we got manifested as these bodies. After we die, we again go back to that unmanifest state. That is avyakta. So that state is the first one. 2, buddhi, the intelligence. 3, ahankara, identity. 4, panchamahabhutas. 5, indriyani. How many indriyas? 10 indriyas. Karmendriya, Jnanendriya, ekam, that mind which controls everything. And panchendriya gochara, all the objects outside which we pursue. I want to eat this, the laddu, that jalebi, whatever it is. That what we want to taste, see, smell, touch and hear. Those are the objects outside. So these are together contribute 24 of them. All this is your kshetra only. This is not kshetrajna. All this is kshetra only. The body and its various aspects. It is not the knower. It is the one which can be known. But it is not the knower. And then he says, what else happens? Ichha, dvesha, sukham, tukham, sanghata, chetana, dhritihi, etat kshetram samasena, savikara, mudamritam. What else happens in this? He says, ichha, dvesha. When we like something, we develop a desire for it. We want it. That is called raga. What is dvesha? When we don't like it, we want to get rid of it. That is dvesha. So, ichha, dvesha. Raga, dvesha is the modification of you, he says. Remember Vikara, he says, what I'll tell you what is Kshetra, what is its nature, what are the various changes in it. These are the changes. What? Ichha, dvesha. Sometimes I like something, sometimes I don't like something. Then Sukham, Dukkham. When things are good, I experience joy, Sukham. When things are not favorable, I experience Dukkham. Is the body experience Dukkham? Is the body experience Ichha? Is the body experiencing dvesha? No. Something else. What is that? Mind is experiencing. That's why so you have a body, then you have a mind, like a hardware and software in a computer. So this mind goes through all these changes. And sanghatash chetana dhritihi. Sanghata means all the attachment that comes with it, all the various kinds of things that it associates and interacts with. And chetana, he says that awareness is also there. Chetana is the life force, prana. At the same time, it is also this awareness, which I told you, there is something in you which is aware of things. So there is some power in you, that is also you. And dhritihi. Dhritihi means determination. What determination? If I want something, I want to get it somehow. If I don't want something, I want to get rid of it somehow. This ability, this determination also is a part of your vikara. Why? Because sometimes we want to work hard, sometimes we don't want to work hard. Sometimes we have great willpower, sometimes we don't exhibit any willpower. So these changes are also part of you. It says, etat kshetram. These all things together is your kshetra. What are the things? All the 24, those things in the physical body and all the other changes that happen to you on a day-to-day basis like raga, dvesha, sukha, dukha, chetana, dhritihi, all that things. And all this savikara mudharitam. All these are vikaras that happens because of the interactions with the various aspects of this world. Now if you go back to Aitreya Upanishad and all these things, you will see there is a process of creation. Remember, there was only Brahman. After that comes Ishvara, thinking Brahman. And Mahat, the abilities develop in Brahman, intelligence, ego, and all the abilities to create. Then comes Hiranyagarbha, which is the primordial material with which things have been created, all the Paha Panchabhutas. Then from there comes the Virata, the first form. In Virata come all the Indriyas and Devatas of the Indriyas, they settle into the various Indriyas. Then from there comes the Jiva, when finally the Virata enters into the form. So those who have read Aitreya Upanishad with me, they'll be able to remember that. But those who have not read also, Kathopanishad gives a very nice sequence. What it says, Indriyabhya parahi artha. The objects of the senses are more strong than the senses because it is for that sake that we run. Then arthebhyascha param manaha. Mind is greater than the objects of the senses. Manasastu para buddhi. Greater than mind is this intelligence that tells the mind what to do. Buddhe Atma Mahan Paraha. Above Buddhi is the Atma. Which is this Atma? That Chetana Dhriti I told about. No? That is this Atma. Then Atma. Mahata Param Avyaktam. After Atma comes Mahata. Mahata is that Avyakta Bhava which we mentioned earlier. Which has also the 5 elements and other things in the creation part of it. Param Avyaktam. Avyaktat Purusha Paraha. Beyond this unmanifest form, Avyakta is the Purusha. Purusha here is that supreme divine person. He says Purushat Paraha Kinchim. Param kinchit sa kashta saparagati. That is the ultimate. So that is called the Purusha. So we have Indriya, Artha, Indriya, Mana, Buddhi, Mahat, Avyakta, Purusha. So this is how the sequence is. The same way in our body also all this creation happens. Yatha pindande tata brahmande they say. Whatever is happening in the universe is happening in us also. What about Panchamahabhutas you will say? Naturally all these existed in your dream or in your other state when you were sleeping. That's what kept your body running, no? Your water circulation was happening, respiration was happening, all the other digestions, all these functions were going on. Your Kanvendriya, Gyanendriya, all the except for your Karmendriya, which were movements, other things were going on. But in sleep also some people walk, some people talk. It means your Karmendriyas are all active. But once you wake up, all these become super active. So slowly see creation is happening in you. From totally unaware anything, but you exist, but you are not aware. From there you slowly start becoming aware. Chetana comes, then comes the all other aspects. Ahankara comes, all Panchamahabhutas have re-emerged in you. Then our Karmendriya, Gyanendriyas have got activated. So the whole creation happens inside you. Every morning the creation happens, throughout the day you are sustained. At the end of the day you again disappear. In a way we disappear, right? Because we are not aware of ourselves. So Srishti, Sthiti, Laya is happening in us all the time. This is what Krishna is telling, that this Kshetra with all its vikaras is what it is. This all the nature and its way it does, how it evolves, how it changes. This is how it happens, he says. How am I going to know, differentiate between this Kshetra and Kshetrajna? Neera, Kshira, Viveka. How will I know this is water and that is milk? Both are mixed. I can't make out the difference between the two. I only feel that the body is also I, mind is also I, and whatever awareness also you are talking about is I only. I can't find the difference. So tell me, how do I differentiate the two and know that knowledge? Now, everything we have learnt about our body, our mind, our buddhi, ahankara, everything, but we have not learnt about that power still, which makes us aware every morning. That Chetana is a reflection of that power. But the ultimate power, the power that runs the whole place, we do not know it yet. We will learn. But if we learn that, Krishna gives us, next sloka, 20 things to practice. And says, unless you practice these things, you cannot learn the truth. And each of these things are very simple principles of living. Very simple. You have to follow that to become a good human being. Once you become a good human being, the cataract goes out and then you can see things clearly. Till then you think you are the body and you keep working towards protecting this body, preserving this body, decorating this body, satisfying this body. Or you think you are the mind, you all the time are busy stimulating the mind, exciting the mind, entertaining the mind. Whole time we are busy with this. But once we know that we are beyond this, suddenly your attitude towards life will change. Suddenly you will start thinking from a different point of view, a different angle. Suddenly you will feel that whole world has opened up in front of you. A new awareness, a new thinking, a new attitude will come into you. And that is how you will start becoming a better human being. And slowly as you evolve to become better and better by practicing all the good qualities, you will end up becoming divine. Slokardena pravakshame yadoktam grantakotibihi brahma satyam jagan mithya jivo brahmaiva naparaha. This is Shankaracharya. Whatever is written in crores of textbooks, books of Vedanta and Shastras, I'll tell you in half a shloka. Brahma satyam jagan mithya. Jivo brahmaiva naparaha. God alone is real. The world is his manifestation, so it is unreal. And you, who you think that you are somebody different from God, it is not true. You only are God. This is what Adi Shankaracharya has taught us. We aim to learn the truth that this body mind is different from the knower that I truly am. And this knower is not different from the Paramatma. This knower is called Atma also. And the electricity in the bulb is Atma. And the electricity which is running in the whole circuit is Paramatma. That's how you should remember.